Hello and welcome back to the Empower Queen Show with your host, Marsha Mayfield. And I am so honored to have my guest today. And God, I hope I can pronounce her name properly. Avalaura, help me with the last name.
Avalaura Gaither Beharry.
And I still messed it up. Avalaura, that is so beautiful. I'm honored to have you as a guest today here on the Empower Queen Show to really share with the women, you know, your life journey and your ups and downs as well as your success. And so what I want to do, I'm not going to go into that long outdrawn bio, because most of the time you're like, who really want to hear that? They really want to hear what can Avalaura do for me? You know, what can she provide that can help me to feel like that empowered queen, right? And so one of the things, Avalaura, that I really admire is that you said you're a life coach, but you help women to own and take back their life. Because a lot of times, I know my personal experience is that we lose ourselves throughout the process, through the journey, you know, of husbands and children and life and jobs and just overall life. We lose ourselves. But one of the things that you do is to really help individuals to live their best life. So can you share with us how did you get to that place? How did Avalaura get there?
You know, I'm glad that you asked that question, Marsha. First of all, thank you so much for having me. I love being on the Empowered Queens. I mean, goodness gracious, I love it. Okay. You know, but I'm so glad that you asked that question because it is a journey. You know, and one of the things that I always tell my clients and I tell people that I work with is that healing is a journey. It is not a destination. And one of the biggest problems that I see when people are embarking on healing and changing their lives, and I view it all the same, because when you are changing your lives, when you're transforming your lives, you are healing, right? All a part of the journey. So, you know, one of the biggest things that I see, or one of the problems, is the expectations of that it's supposed to happen now, quick. And it doesn't happen that way. You know, I actually, you know, I have a presentation to speak, a talk that I do about the 7 reasons you still haven't healed. And one of those reasons is that you are expecting that it's going to be quick, because we live in this microwave society where we're so used to, if I have a question, let me just go on Google real quick and look. You know, but I tell people I grew up in the days that we had to go to the library, where we had the card catalog system. So you had to physically go to the library, then you had to go to the card catalog, and you had to look up by author or by book, and you had to take the card, then you had to go into the stacks and hope maybe your book was there, right? There was no, you know, just hop on your phone or hop on your iPad or your computer and go to Google. So things took time, you know, so we were used to being a little bit more patient. But now people aren't used to being patient because they don't understand that things take time.
Oh, I love it.
So yeah, this has definitely been a journey. And, you know, there's been many kind of pit stops along the way. But one of the defining moments for me is my background is in social work. And so, you know, I went to Howard University. I got my bachelor's degree in psychology, my master's degree in social work. And so for me, a part of my journey was when I was in the social work field, feeling like, okay, I've arrived. You know, I got my master's degree. Now I'm in my purpose, right? I'm doing the work that I've always wanted to do. I wanted to heal and help people transform their lives. And then I got in the system. And I realized that system was broken. And I realized that instead of helping people to really change their lives, I was helping people to simply maintain their dysfunction.
Oh, wow. That's good.
You know, and so I was a program director at an outpatient mental health clinic, and I was miserable. I was literally dying inside. I was suffering in silence, and I was feeling depressed, and I was feeling like, I know that God has called me to do something great, and I'm not doing it here. You know, I'm playing Clark Kent when I should be Superwoman.
Come on now.
Yeah. And so for me, it was, how am I going to get out of here? Because I didn't know how to get out. I didn't know what to do. I just knew I was stuck. I knew I was miserable. I knew every single day I was on that job, I felt like I was dying a little bit more and more. And I felt like if I stay here, you know, y'all gonna see me on the TV as this woman went postal up in the outpatient mental health clinic, you know, on Channel 5. You know, I mean, I didn't know what to do. And so what happened for me was I ended up, I went on this retreat, this weekend retreat, and I was getting back to, you know, soulful self-care, as I call it, all the things that I tell my clients to do. And I got back to praying and meditating, and I spent time in nature and just, you know, talking to women in like minds and just, you know, taking time out for me. And I literally had one of those moments where I had a conversation with God, or more like a begging session with God, like, please, God, I don't know what to do, but get me out of here. On my hands and knees doing an ugly cry, like, this is not working for me. I can't do this anymore, but I don't know what to do.
Wow.
I need help.
Wow.
And
let me, if you allow me to stop here and ask this question, or to expound on this, I like what you said about being dysfunctional, dysfunctional. A lot of times we as women, educated women, career-driven women, we are operating in a dysfunctional state and not aware of it, because it becomes our norm. And
that's right.
At what point do you realize, or, I know you had, the clientele, the clients and things that you were seeing daily, you were seeing them as being dysfunctional, but did you feel it yourself? Because you was in a place, in a surrounding that you just absolutely hated.
I was very clear. I knew it because I was miserable. And a lot of times, so if you're not clear that you're dysfunctional, you look at the gaps in your life. When you know that you are really not, you don't have the energy, right? You know how sometimes you need to do stuff, but you just don't have the energy to do it.
Yes.
So you don't have the energy. You are just making it. You are just putting in the bare minimum with whatever you're doing just to kind of get it done. No extra, no 150, 100%, but just let me just go ahead and take care of this so I can get done.
Yes, yes. So many women, I'm sure viewers and listeners can relate to that, because that's what we do. I mean, that's what a lot of us do. And I really want the listeners and the viewers to really take in what you're saying and not to continue to operate in that dysfunctional state.
Yeah.
And own it. Because even in my own life, it's been times where I just felt like, oh, today is just, I got to do this. And I wasn't operating in who I really am.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so that is how you know when you can't give something your full energy, when you have no energy. And I've literally had clients, Avalaura, I wake up and I was just crying every day. That's a wake-up call. Something's wrong. You're waking up and you're crying every day. You don't want to go to work. You don't feel like dealing with stuff. Or how about this one? I hear women say this all the time, especially to their children. Leave me alone. You working my last nerve. Okay, let me tell you something. If you on your last nerve, something's wrong. Okay. Nobody should be able to bring you to your last nerve.
Will you please get off my toes? Please stop it. Stop it. Okay, I'm dysfunctional. Lord, help me. I would be calling you after the session today.
So yeah, I mean, there are definitely warning signs, and as Oprah says it, when she calls it, the whisper, the pebble, and the brick. And what I want women to know is you don't have to wait for the brick to be thrown at you to make changes to know that you're dysfunctional. There's a whisper first. Your feelings let you know. Your intuition lets you know. And then if you don't get that, then God will throw you some life experiences. This kind of, And then what I see, and particularly with women, and particularly with Black women, and yes, I'm calling y'all out, is that what has happened is, particularly for Black women, we've been conditioned to be so strong. We don't know the warning signs. We don't know when our body is literally telling us stop. Because we're used to carrying the weight of the world and feeling like we have to do it all ourselves. And so I have no choice. I just have to do it. And we don't realize we're dysfunctional or we're in problems or I need to make some life changes until we are out on our back, laid out, and we can't do nothing.
Wow.
And that's usually a sickness. That's usually maybe a loss of a job, loss of a significant relationship, but it's usually something so traumatic happens and you fall out and you realize I can't function anymore. There were so many warning signs along the way before you got to that point that if you had listened to them, paid attention, and done something then, you never would have had to get to that point. What I tell women is that, look, this is what I know. I'm a life coach. I'm an intuitive consultant. if you're not dealing with me now, you're going to need me later.
Mm.
You're never not going to need me, because there's always work that you have to do. Healing is a journey. If you truly want to be successful, if you truly want to live your best life, it is a journey.
Mm.
So at some point, you're going to need me. So you can choose to need me on your terms before that brick gets thrown at you, or you can wait till the brick is thrown and say, oh my God, I need to make changes. What am I going to do now?
Yes. 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 Oh my God. So powerful. So powerful.
Yeah. And so for me, you know, I knew I was in dysfunction. I knew that my life was chaotic. I knew that I was not living the life that I was supposed to live. And that's why it was so hard for me to function, and why I was so miserable and depressed. And I knew something had to shift and something had to happen. But again, like I said, I didn't know what. But I wanted to finish the story real quick, because what happened for me is, after that retreat and after I had that, you know, that conversation with God, like, rescue me, deliver me, something got to happen, please. You know, I got back to work on Monday morning, and it was a regular day. I went to work doing my job, and my boss calls me in his office and he fired me. Just like that. I had never been fired from a job in my life. And my ego kicked in, like, how dare you? You did what? After I've been busting my butt, everything I've been doing for you, you gonna fire me? You know, you know how we get.
Yes, yes.
But then Spirit took over.
Mm.
Spirit took over and said, Avalaura, this is what you've been asking for. This is what you wanted. This is your answered prayer. These are your freedom papers. It's time to get free. God. It's time to get free. Now, what are you going to do? How are you going to create your life? And I took 6 months. I took 6 months and I did the work. Who am I? Why am I here? What am I supposed to do? What is my genius? How can I help people heal? I took 6 months, and then I opened up Avalaura's Healing Center. And that was a little over 10 years ago. And I've been doing this work ever since.
Ever since. Wow. And it's so profound. And listeners, I want you to grasp this. Like, she asked God for help. Yeah. Not knowing, not having a clue that, you know, a lot of times when we have this prayer, we thinking that he's going to send us, you know, the lottery winner, or, you know, this husband that's going to, you know, just take us off our feet. But he removed her from her security blanket. Oh my God, that is so powerful. In order to put her in the place, into her destiny, into freedom, into truly living. Like, so what I want you to grasp, listeners, is that it's so much more to life than what we see with the natural eye. Absolutely. In order to walk as an empowered queen, we must be prepared to do just that. You know, you have to prepare yourself. I like what you said. Yeah. You took 6 months for you to get quiet and silent. Yep. And make preparations. And how many years you've been doing this now? A
little over 10 years.
That's amazing.
It'll be 11 years soon.
So would you say, Avalaura, that if you hadn't been pushed out of your comfort zone, off the job, would you be doing this now?
Here's the thing. I know that I would, because this is my destiny. I don't know how it would have happened.
Love it.
It absolutely some kind of way would have happened. And, you know, I had a choice to make. Because listen, I got a master's degree in social work. I could get a job at any moment. It is not hard. So I could have easily decided to go ahead and get another job. But I took the hard road at that time. It seemed like the hard road. I took the hard road, like you said, not having that security, not knowing what I was going to do, and paying for help, because help don't come free. I'm not supposed to. So, but I had to pay. I had to put myself out there and say, if I truly want to create the life that I want, I got to pay the experts who going to help me. No more than me. Yes. Get out from this space. Otherwise, I'm going to find myself right back where I was.
Yes. Yes.
So I was willing. I was willing to do whatever it took to make the sacrifices that needed to be made for me to be here now. So then it seemed like the hard road. And this is what I want people to know. When you're operating in your purpose, when you're operating in your destiny, it don't come easy. And a lot of times that hard work has to come up front. Oh, yes. But then on the back end, the back end is where you hit your stride. That's when life becomes easy.
Yes. Love it.
So you can have the hard now or later. But on the flip side, when you are in your comfort zone, when you were just surviving, just barely making it, it might seem like it's easy at that particular time, but it starts to weigh on you and get harder and harder and harder.
Wow. Wow. Oh, wow. I'm sitting here in awe. Like you are speaking so deep to the listeners, even to myself. It's just amazing. I'm so honored. So, Avalaura, let me ask you this question. If you can share with us at least one thing that you share, one process or one tip or strategy that you share with your clients, how to begin the healing process, how to really live the life that you desire or deserve to live.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I actually, I have an article, and I'm trying to think if it's on my website, on my blog, but 3 steps to super soul success. And I actually have a group. It is in my group. I have a Facebook group called Super Soul Success, because I'm all about how do you live success and how do you define success on your own terms according to your soul signature. So not what somebody else is doing, not what somebody else tells you, what they're saying, but according to you, right? And so there's 3 steps to that. Okay. I call it my AAA. If y'all know AAA, I've had AAA since I was 16 driving my car. Because AAA saves the day. When you are over at the side of the road, because I'm not changing no tires. You call AAA and they gonna change your tire, or you over on the side of the road like me because you think you got enough gas and you run out. Oops. Call AAA. They will come in and bring you some gas. So I call this my AAA. And the first step to that is, this is exactly what I did. So I know that this works, and this is exactly the process that I've led people through. The first thing that you have to do is you have to accept. You have to accept your situation for what it is right now. Before you can change anything, you got to accept it. So you can't be in denial. Oh, this is not happening to me. You can't be blaming other people for it. Oh, it's so-and-so's fault that I'm here right now, that I'm miserable, that I'm stuck, that I don't have what I want. No, you got to accept your situation. And acceptance doesn't mean that you got to like it. It just means that you accept that right here, right now, I am in this space and I am freaking miserable. So that's the first step. You got to accept it. Then the second step is you have to ask. And this is where the breakdown happens. This is the breakdown. I want strong sisters who can do it all by myself. I don't need nobody. I don't need no man. I'm an independent woman. Yes. He tell you something. An independent woman is a woman in denial. Ain't none of us independent. We are interdependent beings. We all need one another. So you have to ask for help. That might mean asking your mother for help watching your children while you go on and take an extra 30 minutes, an hour to work on your dream. It might mean that you get professional help like me, like let me hire somebody who's going to help shortcut my process so I don't have to figure everything out, but this is what I want, help me to get there, right? There's so many different ways, but you got to be willing to ask. You got to be willing to surrender your pride, your ego, all of that stuff and say, look, I can't do it on my own. And you got to be willing to let go of, well, every time I ask somebody for help, nobody helps me. You got to let all that go and ask. And then the third thing that you have to do is you have to take action. You got to implement. I can't tell you how many of my clients who, by the time they get to me, oh, Avalaura, I've been to Oprah Live Your Best Life. I've been to this retreat. I read Wayne Dyer. I've done the Deepak Chopra meditation. I've done this, that, and the other. I'm like, okay, but what have you done? Well, I read it. Oh, okay. Well, have you taken action? What have you done with it and implemented into your life? So many of us, what I call spiritual samplers, we just collect information. We collect it and then we don't do anything with it. That's one of the things that I see when people finally get to me is that they're like, okay, I got all of this stuff, but I don't know what to do with it. It's here. How do I use it? And so that's what we work on is, okay, let's take all these things that you know, because you know a lot. But let's take all of that stuff and how do we use it in your life? And how do we get you from where you are right now to where you want to be? That is authentically you. Wow. Not somebody else, but is authentically you. So you got to take action, even if your action is little baby steps. Got to take action, because I can guarantee you, if you don't take any action, your life is going to stay exactly where it is right now or get worse.
Or worse. You're right. You're right. Oh, wow. Avalaura, that's just been like, I'm taking notes. I'm sitting here taking notes like, I got to write this down. This is good. But I really want to thank you. Thank you so much for coming in and sharing with the listeners, the steps to take to be healed, and for you being transparent, even to myself, to share with me about being dysfunctional and walking and doing and moving, but not in the full authority that God has really given me, has gifted me with. And the steps that you're giving here, and our listeners, viewers, please, this lady has really poured into us. And if you're that person that's dysfunctional, that person that hate life, or that hate you being, or may just be tired, sick and tired of being sick and tired, then I encourage you to have a conversation. Avalaura, if you would share with the viewers and the listeners how to contact you, I would be so grateful.
Absolutely. So, one of my gifts that I would love to impart on you all, Empowered Queens, is, a 20-minute complimentary consultation with me. And I say as a gift because my time is not free and neither is yours. Okay. So what you can do is you can email me at avalaura@avalaura.com. AVALAURA. Avalaura@avalaura.com. Use the subject Empowered Queens so I will know that Marsha sent you here. Okay. So you can do that. And then, of course, you can reach me on my website at avalaura.com. I am Googleicious. You can literally find me all over the web, okay? I'm on all social media. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on Periscope. I'm on everything, okay? So whatever your social media of choice is, you can certainly connect with me. If you go to my website, avalaura.com, you'll find all of my social media links. Or if you just Google me, AVALA, bam, I'll pop right up because there's only one Avalaura.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Guys, I encourage you to take advantage of that. Definitely be sure to put in your subject line Empower Queens, because I know this lady is extremely busy. And so you can get in when you say Empower Queens.
That's right.
Avalaura's going to get you in for that consultation. Avalaura, thank you so much for just being genuine and sharing with the Empower Queens. Guys, again, this is Marsha Mayfield, the host of the Empower Queens show. And I look forward to sharing with you guys again on tomorrow, teaching you and empowering you and inspiring you to be your great, and to allow your greatness to reign out of you, and to take ownership of your life and your business and your finances and your health. And I just thank God for the people that he brings on board, such as Avalaura, to really just share how you can be that empowered queen. Thank you guys so very much.